National security implications to this. We want to bring in Jamil Jaffer, founder and executive director of the National Security Institute. Jamil, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Natasha.
And countries conduct surveillance on other nations all the time. We know this. The brazenness of China does stand out in this case. Why would they go about this in such a visible way?
You know, it's a great question, Natasha. The fact that they have gotten away with this on multiple occasions before, apparently including during the Trump administration as well as during this administration, suggests that perhaps they thought they could get away with it once again in a fairly provocative way, even in the lead up to an important visit by Secretary of State Antony Blinken. It's not clear why this time is different. Your correspondent Joe mentioned that perhaps it was because the balloon was over U.S. territory for longer. But I think the government has some explaining to do about why they didn't take action earlier, both on this flight, but on earlier flights as well.
For whatever reason, could China have wanted to have their balloon discovered, perhaps to gauge our reaction?
Well, it's not unusual for the Chinese to and other nations to sort of try to demonstrate strength ahead of an official visit or ahead of an official engagement. This may have been an attempt to do that. Obviously, at some level, a failed attempt because we ultimately took the balloon down. Maybe they thought that we weren't going to do it given our prior practice. And now they're protesting, saying it was a civilian balloon. Obviously, that at least according to the U.S. government, that's not the case. And we'll see what we collect off of this balloon once we are able to obtain the materials that have fallen now into the ocean at about 45 feet of water.
And what about that new information from Joe Khalil, as you were talking about, defense officials saying that this is not the first time it's happened. It happened 3 times during Trump's administration, once previously during this current administration. How often is this happening? Why would China want to employ such a visible means of surveillance when they do have satellites?
Yeah, it's an interesting and a hard question because according to defense officials earlier this week, the balloon, they believe, did not have more capabilities than a typical Chinese spy satellite. If that's true, then it does raise questions of why use this methodology. My theory is that, in fact, it may have different capabilities. One, obviously, any closer you can get to an object, you're going to be able to use and have better resolution of imagery. But beyond that, you can also collect signals from being closer in that you might not be able to get from outer space. So that could be part of what they're getting, measurement intelligence, signals intelligence, and the like, off of our various facilities that they flew over, including those Minuteman III missile fields there in Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho.
How do you see this impacting the relationship between the U.S. and China? Tensions already so high, even before this.
Well, tensions are high in large part because of Chinese behavior. We know about the billions of dollars they've stolen from the U.S. in intellectual property over the years in terms of commercial software and the like. But beyond that, they've been putting a lot of pressure on Taiwan. They threatened Nancy Pelosi's plane when she visited Taiwan recently. And so the Chinese are getting aggressive. We've heard about Chinese police stations threatening Chinese nationals here in the U.S. And so it's somewhat surprising that, at a time when there's an opportunity to perhaps make those relations better, that they went down this road and got aggressive here. And so I think Secretary of State Blinken did the right thing by canceling his trip. It was the right thing to shoot this down. I think people can argue it should have been done earlier. I think that's probably right. But ultimately, the Biden administration did the right thing and did take this balloon down.
Oh, interesting. So, Jamil, you do think that this should have been taken down earlier, even if it was above a civilian population?
Well, there are a lot of parts of the United States that have relatively limited population over them. It flew over some of those parts of the United States as it crossed from the Midwest and from the West down into over the South Carolina coast. So I think there were opportunities certainly to take it down over a less populated area. And I think it would have sent a stronger message doing it soon after it was detected. Look, we sent a strong message no matter what, but doing it earlier certainly would have made it that much stronger.
Okay. Jamil Jaffer, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Natasha.
Well,